ಇದೆಯಾ ಲೈವ್? ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಎನಿ ನಾನ್ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗ ಹಿಯರ್? 1 2 3. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಇಸ್ Bangalore? Since you people came, there is some kind of rain and the weather is good in Bangalore. So the guy who is there in photo, me only. So myself, Vinay Kumar, I am the founder and director of Insights IAS. So past 9 years, so we have grown from 40 students to a very big student community. Not only in Bangalore, so we have branches in Jammu, Kashmir, Srinagar, then Lucknow, Hyderabad, Delhi, and also in Dharwad. And we have some kind of collaboration with St. Aloysius College in Bengaluru, and we had done a free batch and still continuing in Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh. And also in Mysore, we have a study center. And to help rural students in Davangere, we have a branch also, so where students from rural areas are doing self-study, right? So now all of you have come after completing your graduation, and some of you come here to Bangalore to pursue civil service preparation. Maybe after preparing for 4-5 months by yourself. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಆ ಥರ? someone here who, so you graduated somewhere, I think maybe in June or May, but you waited till now to join the classes. Anyone? No. 4-5 people. So otherwise all of you graduated recently, last month, in the month of October. Okay. In November also, some of you. Which course? BSc. Okay. So what about you? MSc. See, in UPSC last year, when the result came, I was going through the numbers. Main score and interview score, right? The number of marks scored by rank 1 in mains is 901 out of 1750. 901 out of 1750. And in the interview, the same topper who got all India rank 1 scored 193, I think, right? So 193 plus 901 got her all India rank 1. So some of you might have dreamed about it, right, to get all India rank 1. You? Yes. So majority of you, when you start your preparation or when you are about to start or when you have started, you have this dream, to get all India rank 1. So that is a confidence with which you come to coaching centers, whether it is Bangalore or whether it is Delhi. So that is the confidence. The moment the idea is planted in your head that you want to pursue UPSC, so you start seeing, visualizing yourself as an IAS officer, if that is the dream. For some of you IPS, for some of you Indian Foreign Service. So I don't think anyone comes with a dream of IRS income tax. Anyone here? No. So the moment that dream is planted in your head, right? So the process of preparation starts. So in the beginning, the mental preparation. Am I ready for this examination? Am I ready for the role? The role of IAS. Very few people think about it. The role of IAS. In your imagination, when you think of role of Indian Administrative Service, mostly it is about, in the beginning, like TV interviews, and then managing the district, getting some attention. Like in movie Prithvi, there is a famous Kannada movie Prithvi, right? So, but you don't know the actual role of an IAS officer, right? So what you have seen when you have visited DC office, or what you have heard from toppers stories, and some IAS officers after getting into service, they also give interview, they also talk about their role. right? So somewhere there is a dream and there is a mental process happening, preparing yourself to the both examination preparation as well as for the role ahead. So now there are two things here, if you imagine, right? The role ahead comes after you get your name into the list. So once you see your name in the list, the role begins. But to achieve that role, right? So there is a huge time lag in some cases. In some cases there is a small time lag of 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. So people have spent 6 years, 7 years, 8 years also to get that so called coveted post, right? It is called coveted, COVETED, coveted andre the most sought after position or post, right? So it is named as mother of all posts, and exam is named as mother of all examinations. So in English there is a figure of speech known as any English literature students here? No one. Hyperbole. So some people pronounce it as hyperbole, but it is hyperbole. HYPERBOLE. Extreme exaggeration. There is exaggeration and there is extreme exaggeration, right? So IAS is merely a service of the people, service of the nation, service of the citizens. And IAS examination is another examination that intends to select students with capabilities, mettle, METTLE. What is mettle? Mettle means caliber, right? Maybe a mental caliber or something, and certain qualities that are required in this modern day to address the challenges, not to face the challenges, but to address the challenges, right? So now this entire process starts from the zero level. So all of you who are sitting here are zeros, right? So you will become hero in the eyes of the society, and heroine also hero, right, in the eyes of the society. So that process, how do you go about, and what is your current thinking right now when you think about the examination? You see NCERT textbooks, you see the Hindu, you see current affair quiz, you see toppers videos, and you have seen all of these, right? You have gone through some of these things, and that is not the exam, right? That all these things are not the exam. Are you aware of this? Some people easily escape by telling that read NCERT, read the Hindu newspaper every day, and attend coaching, make notes, watch videos, and then you will become IAS officer. And you ask somebody who is into services, who got into services some 5-10 years ago, they will tell this thing, okay? So join the coaching institution, revise NCERT 4-5 times, Lakshmikant 4-5 times, and then some standard textbooks, you will crack this examination. So to be honest, right, the examination is not that easy, right? This particular examination which you have chosen, right, to crack and to be part of is not that easy. So let me start by saying the truth, right? So if anybody says that this exam is easy, they are lying. The feel of, the feeling of this exam is easy comes after cracking it, right? So after cracking it, not immediately, 1 week they will talk about it, they will exaggerate, I studied for 20 hours, I studied for 15 hours, and like I didn't eat, I didn't drink, and so I was merely reading, and I was consumed by this UPSC. Somehow I sacrificed everything, and then I became a topper. So that is the talk you listen, and after 10-15 days, after giving so much of talk, then they look back and then it seems very easy, right? Just read these things, follow one website, and it will happen. Even the topper has gone through, in reality has gone through sacrifices, and they have really worked hard, right? And because they get tired of saying it again and again, it becomes simplified version. In the beginning you give in detail everything, right? when so many people keep asking the same question and then you give the filter version of answer, and then it looks very simplistic. So you should not get carried away by that. Now the actual process of whole UPSC examination, cracking this examination, because I have 9 years of experience, our institution has so much in-depth experience, because we have produced All India Rank 1 in 2016. Since then we have got All India Rank 1 or 2 ranks in All India top 10 ranks, right. So we have experience of personally guiding students, mentoring them, helping them sail through all the stages of the examination, in some cases one by one stage, in some cases all 3 stages, together. So what I have learned and what we have learned as an institution, there are many lessons, right. So this orientation session is about passing those lessons to you people, so that you remember them, these lessons, and you carry forward and ensure that you don't commit mistakes, right. So these lessons are very important. So what is the number one lesson that I can think of when I imagine all the civil service aspirants and the past ones, successful ones and the failed ones? I don't like to use the word failure, because failure is a wrong word. Can you tell me why? Why I should not use the word failure to anyone in any field? Why? Have you failed? Why we should not use the word failure? Good, very good. So it's a success point. No, it's a good word actually, success point. Failure is a success point. Good. So it helps someone to succeed again later. So why we should not label anyone as failure? Our society is very cruel. 10th or 12th or any competitive exam, and some of you have failed in NEET and then have done BSc or BDS, and then so relatives would have labeled you indirectly if not directly. And then we see sports teams, sports persons going through that kind of experience, celebrities, right. So here in this field, especially in UPSC, like I am a failure, right. So I am the example of failure in front of you. So I didn't crack UPSC examinations in my 4 attempts, wrote 3 mains, went till interview in 1 attempt, missed my rank, any rank, by 2 marks. So I put that marks card on my Twitter timeline. So some of you can actually check it. So then I worked as Panchayat Development Officers for 2 years, and then cracked KPSC examination in 2013. So notification was out in 2011. So that is the beauty of KPSC examination, So that was the very fastest examination, I think. 11 and 13 was out. Now the 17 examination, the result was out last year, 2022, I think, right. So now people are waiting for the notification. So if you are 30 right now, waiting for the notification, then the result will be out by the time you are 35 or 36, right. So luckily 2013 was my final attempt towards any kind of civil service examination. So in 2014 January I came to Bengaluru to ensure that my livelihood in the beginning, and then to help anybody who wanted guidance. So learning from my own mistakes, I started this institution and started giving wonderful result from the very first batch. From the very first batch in 2014, with very handful students, 15-20 students were there. We got 5 ranks, All India 5 ranks, including All India rank 8, rank 36. DK Balaji, you must be knowing. You might have heard DK Balaji. His book on ethics is very famous. You should buy that book, right? So then the rank 36, rank 26, Neha Kumari, and then rank 95, rank 395. 4 got into IAS and 1 got IRS income tax in the very first batch. So since then till now, again so many have written mains. Last week I conducted interview session as well for those who have written mains. Those are hopeful of cracking mains. So these many years have taught me a lesson that failure is a mere coincidence, small incident, right. So in your life, in a larger scheme of life, people label something as very big failure or failure when they see that process itself as the end, that goal itself as the end. For example, if cracking NEET examination was the highest goal at that point of time in your life, right. So you also think it as a failure, and people will also label it as a failure. And now if you think IAS is the ultimate goal in your life, IAS is the ultimate goal in your life, that you must crack IAS examination at any cost, if that is the process of thinking, and then inevitably you will label yourself as a failure when you don't crack prelims or mains or this examination, right. And if you look beyond IAS examination, that there are so many possibilities, opportunities in life beyond IAS, right. IAS is a means to serve the society, serve the people, and maybe to achieve a certain social status. If you internalize this kind of belief, this kind of thinking, I will assure you that it will stop you getting any kind of stress, right, getting anxious about the examination and labeling yourself as a failure. It is just a one step, right. So that was my thinking, has always been my thinking. So I saw IAS as a means, to serve, and then if not IAS, you find another opportunity, right. If that opportunity also doesn't satisfy you, you find another opportunity. So we have to be in a continuous, look out for more bigger opportunities in life rather than looking for the smaller opportunities, right. So this is a very important lesson, because people who are afraid of failing in prelims are also afraid of scoring low marks in our mock tests, right. Once they are afraid of scoring low marks in mock test, and once it happens and they quit this exam preparation, they quit giving the examination, they quit giving mains examination, they don't read for the test because they are afraid of scoring less. So number one, don't be afraid of anything. Every exam, every test, every question that we are going to give you, you have to take very seriously, right. So never keep looking at the end result, right, the IAS and the UPSC and all. So one day at a time, give your ultimate best, right. It can be perfect, it cannot, it may be imperfect. So in a day, some people have the target of 12 hours, 14 hours, some people have 16 hours, some people have 8 hours. Doesn't matter what is the number of hours that you have kept as your target. So ensure that maximum number, at least 80% of the time is spent productively on a day-to-day basis. This is very important. Secondly, every test, even if you score in the negative mark, even if the mark is 0, even if the mark is lowest, and if it is not up to your expected level, keep giving more and more number of tests rather than not giving them. You have to have the attitude of facing such tests in more and more number. So that is the right attitude, and eventually you will reach a point in 2 or 3 months where your scores will start figuring in top 5 or top 10, right. So this, you see, we come from the university mindset where we don't give frequent examinations, in the sense that on day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis. So here it is totally going to be new for you people in this journey. So ensure that every day test, every week test, without failure you give them, right. So this is one big difference between so-called people who fail in the examination. So those who keep cracking this examination are the ones who have given maximum practice, right? So when I think of rank 1 Nandini KR, so I remember at that time every day I used to give 10 mains questions and at least 50 prelims questions, right? So that was during the period of 10 months. So 10 months almost every day she wrote 10 daily answers, at least 50 daily MCQs, 10 months continuously, right? So that made her beat everyone, in India, rest of India. So sitting somewhere in a small room in Bengaluru. So that is the difference, attitude, right? And the second lesson, the toppers whom I have seen, those who became toppers, they learn from everyone, right? They don't see themselves as the perfect individuals who have gained all the knowledge, right? So they have this humility. So they keep learning from everyone. So they are the ones who meet their mentors maximum number of times, right? For the right purpose. So every time they meet their mentor, they would have written an answer, they would have written a test, right? They might not be able to crack a CSAT question, and they will go to teacher and they will ask them to help with that particular question. So this attitude doesn't come easily to everyone. Easily it doesn't come to everyone. So somewhere we are afraid of moving out of our comfort zone, because we think that the resources are easily available, YouTube is available, and somebody in the reading room, who is more experienced than you is also available to give you guidance. So my suggestion, the second lesson, learn from everyone. To add to that, third, you have to come out of that comfort zone and keep meeting our mentors and teachers. So you people are fortunate that you have actually mentors here, right? So in most institutions you won't find them, and they will be sitting in this building or in that building all the time, waiting for you to come with your doubts, right? So never assume yourself that you know more than anyone in the classroom. Even if you know more, even if you know everything in the Lakshmikant or Go Cheng Liang in geography or NCERT content, assume yourself as imperfect being, willing to learn every minute, right? So that actually again ensures that you are so much involved in the process, right? So not knowing something, right, allows you to get involved, so that involvement required to gain more knowledge. So there is no end to any knowledge, right? So this examination actually needs that attitude, because the syllabus is vague. The syllabus is not perfectly defined. The interviews, there is no syllabus for interview. There is a guidance for interview in the notification. There is no syllabus. So they will ask a random question, right? They will ask a random opinion. They might ask a random fact for you. The more you are learning without feeling exhausted, without having the feeling that there is an end to this knowledge, right? So you are always ahead of the race. And the more you learn, keep humble, be humble, right? Keep showing in result, keep showing in your answer script. The answer you write, ensure that it is best possible answer, right? Try to learn from multiple sources. So we call this as inquisitive mindset, right? What is inquisition? Inquisitive mindset. So if we say that someone is very inquisitive, what does it mean? Basaraj. So what is the meaning of inquisitive? Very good. Curious, curious to know more, to learn more, not just to know. There is knowing, there is learning, there is understanding, right? So knowingly or unknowingly, most of the people are in the race to know things. UPSC examination, the most of the aspirants, they are in the race to know things. I want to be familiar with this particular fact or concept or opinion, I want to know, right? Learn. So you want to learn so that you can share it, right? So you learn and then you can share, exchange. And if you understand it, right, you apply it in your day to day life. So when you understand, that is part of your personality, the knowledge that you have gained, and then that you will apply. In ethics you learn about empathy, right? You understand the concept of empathy, probity, right? Not just learning, not just merely knowing, you understand it. So once you understand, you will naturally apply the concept. So when we say deeper understanding, right? So for that you should first have a curious mind, and then inquisitive mindset, and then to understand things you should also have the mindset of service mindset, right? So if you don't have the service mind, the service is nothing but, the definition of service is to give. The word service means to give. So when you don't have that mindset, to give, to provide, to serve, so then you will actually not understand the concept, understand what you are actually learning. So this is very important. So you need to be curious, you need to be inquisitive, you need to have the service mindset. Once you understand, you don't have to worry about it, right? In the examination you will know how to be creative, right? How to be creative in the sense, you haven't read about it, you might not have in the last minute, but somewhere you had understood the concept, right? So it naturally comes out, you will be able to create an answer, you will be able to find an answer. Are you able to understand what I am saying here? How many of you are understanding what I am saying here? Everyone? Those who are sitting in the back? So these are the very important aspects of the examination. I can just tell you a few things, show slides that prelims, these are the important books. I am not going to tell any books in this session, right? I am not going to talk about all the books, materials and resources, right? So I am going to talk about something beyond these things, right? Because I believe I have gained kind of deeper understanding in this examination, about this examination, by interacting with like people like you who got selected and who didn't get selected as well. And then coming to fourth, right? Somewhere people start with huge confidence, and in the process they lose the confidence. So ensure that confidence is consistent, right? It should be so consistent that even when you feel like giving up, you will actually feel that in the coming days, coming months, you will feel many times to quit, to give up. You will also feel like so not continuing, coming to the class, not giving the test, right? So in those moments also, the lowest moments, so called lowest moment, so I want you people to feel really very confident. And what is the source of that confidence? So if you go back to the lesson number 1, the purpose should be what? What was the lesson number 1 I talked about? What? Don't? Yeah. No, what was the first lesson I talked about? Clear, careful I will tell actually. Attitude. Now I talked about that there is a life beyond IAS. Right? IAS is not the end. The source of confidence is the fact that even if I don't get IAS, right, I am going to create bigger opportunities for myself in my life. Are you getting the point? Right? Adu nijwada attitude antandre. That is the real attitude. That IAS ಆಗಲಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡ ನಾನು ನಾಳೆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ರೈಟ್? IAS IPS ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಬಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು, ರೈಟ್? No, have this attitude, this is very important. Have that attitude constantly. So it might take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, doesn't matter, right? So you should, that attitude naturally gives you that confidence. That confidence coupled with preparation, right? Again, you should not just walk around, with that confidence. Like Chandra Layout is a very good street. You should not just walk around with the attitude, some people actually walk like that, So if it is coupled, if it is complemented with good amount of focused preparation, so always the result is positive. So there should be an endless hard work, right, and that confidence and the humility, right. So that attitude doesn't mean arrogance, that like showing off to the people. So it is an inside talk that you are not revealing to the world, right. So that also will ensure that you just smile out, when some people say that you are doing something wrong, when some people say that you are wasting your time, some people will eventually say that you can just smile, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ಮಗ ನಿನ್ನ, right, time ಬರ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ಅಂತ, right. So you will never react, you will just respond with a smile. So that is the feeling you should constantly have within you, right. And then hard work morning to night. And going back to the point 3, when you have this curious, inquisitive mindset, you will never get tired of the hard work, right. You will never complain about the hard work, you will never say negative thing, like I worked so hard. And you will, even after passing this examination, you will be that unique topper who will say that I just totally enjoyed this whole examination preparation, right. So I was just learning endlessly, and I was enjoying learning everything. Geography was new, economy was new, right. So I was just curious to know how economy, world economy or Indian economy works, what are the concepts in economy, right. I wanted to learn them, I wanted to understand them, right. So if you have that attitude, and if you have this some kind of mad confidence, and the process becomes easy. And then there is one more thing, one lesson that I have learned is that the focus, right. So some people have confidence, some people are hard working in nature, but sometimes the focus is missing, right. So the focus keeps shifting from one goal to another goal, one institution to another institution, one resources to another resource, right. So that kind of, so in English you call it a dilly dallying, I think, right, am I right? Dilly dallying attitude, illu illa allu illa akade ikade. So that kind of wrong attitude will result in failure despite you possessing all the talent. So I have seen IITians, I have seen people from IIM, because of lacking some of the qualities I mentioned, and also focus, and even though they are so knowledgeable, have confidence, they fail in this examination because of the lack of focus. So there was this rank 5 Jaydev, he was part of this OGP program from National Law School. We invited him for a toppers talk, it is there on YouTube, you can watch it. So he used one sentence when we asked, like, what made you crack this examination. He said, I had this single-minded focus. From there I picked up this word, single-minded focus. Then he said that this single-minded focus I had because I prepared my mind in such a way that I believed this whole exam preparation itself was my permanent job, right? The job that you give resume and go after Cognizant or Wipro or Microsoft, Google, wherever you apply for the jobs, right? So you are applying for a job not to work for the company, it is your work basically for the salary, not out of love for that company that you go and you work there, you want livelihood, you want financial security, right? So here that financial security is missing here in this examination, right? But despite that, if you prepare your mind in such a way that, so giving your time for this examination for 2 years or 3 years maximum with that single-minded focus will earn you that kind of a job which you cannot buy even if you have 100 crores, right? Can you buy IAS? No. UPSC is one tall institution standing even today, with integrity. So you cannot, some people believe that, ಈಗಲೂ ನಡೀತದೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. No, it is nonsense. So So if you have that kind of money, please give it. I will train you for 2 years and make IAS, right? Give that money, right? So you cannot buy IAS, you cannot, it is impossible to corrupt anyone in UPSC. The system is so robust, right? So when you have that single-minded focus and hard work, and when you get IAS, you can actually get IAS. You are sitting in a place which has produced those results. The seats where you are sitting, toppers have sat on these seats and listened to the same classes, same orientation classes, written tests, right? And we never know, like if you take my word seriously. So what happens is that, when you are internally not driven, not highly motivated, so you listen and forget, you don't listen and you understand, right? So if I am talking in front of you, there is a 20 years of experience, both as an aspirant, both as a mentor and guide and teacher, right? So every word I am saying in this class, you won't listen to the same kind of orientation if you listen to another orientation. So they will focus more on the exam, the marks, numbers, right? So what most of the people miss out is the personality aspect of the preparation. If that is not right, if the personality is not fit, right, you are not going to crack this examination. Because it is the personality which gives you the confidence, which makes you stay focused even when people are dragging you, even when people are distracting you. Do you have the courage to say no, like you are writing an answer, or you are writing an essay, you are immersed in the process. So suddenly somebody comes and very close friend of yours, right? So now they will say that no, you were supposed to attend a very close friend's marriage. Now, right, it is going on, right? So can you come, let's go and attend, right? What would you say? So we don't have courage to say no. I mean, you want to attend, I suggest you to attend actually, right? You should attend it, but we don't have the courage, some people don't attend, right? You should attend, but if there is a strong determination, there is a strong focus that in the long term, anything that I am losing in the short term, that I am going to gain back, right? So you will have courage to say no. Somebody will call you for a coffee, you will say no. You don't feel like going for a walk, somebody will ask you for walk or visit or movie or something, right? So identify the distractions and have the courage to say no to them. So these are the daily things you will experience in your PG, in your classroom, in your reading room, right? So if you have taken up a task, complete it, finish it. That is, very few people have the ability. So that is why I keep talking about the personality aspect of the examination, because ultimately there is a personality test in the UPSC itself, and having guided like nearly thousands of people. So last year I took mock interviews of 650 people who got selected for interview. So I had this one-on-one mock interviews with 650 candidates who got selected for UPSC interview. So among them 220 got selected, right? So around 125 came to Bengaluru. Chief Minister of Karnataka was the chief guest, and we felicitated all the toppers. So everything you are going to do, if it is right in the direction that I am talking, right? So in the interview, without much struggle, you will score 198 or 200 plus marks, right? So there is a way to 901, right? Because the classes are going to happen in our institution, we complete each and every syllabus holistically, completely, and then there is answer writing component, there is preliminary tests every week, and daily we give around 20-25 MCQs on the website. So those who want to crack examination in 24 prelims, so I have a fixed formula, like I tell them, so if it is in the month of October, November, solve 50 MCQs every day. So the moment you shift to December or January, 100 MCQs every day, at least 25 to 30 CSAT questions, right? and also you should enroll for a mains test and ensure that at least 20 to 25 full length mains tests are written before January or February. So if somebody is serious about 24, right, so these are the three things. In addition to that, last 28 years prelims question papers. So in your bag, last 28 years question bank, syllabus copy, right, and any one NCERT textbook that you are currently reading, right. So you should always carry these three books, or if you are weak in English, there is a small dictionary also, right. The more vocabulary you build, the more tools you will have to convey one message in different combinations, right. So that actually helps in interview. So the interview is the process that ultimately decides your ranking in this examination currently. So topper might have got 901, right. So if she had got 80 marks in interview, what would have been her rank? If topper had got 80 marks in interview, does anyone have the list? Yeah, so 901, 193. Yeah. So the general cutoff ends at 960, interview plus mains marks. So 901, of course they haven't given less than 80. So 80 would have resulted in somewhere rank around 450 or something. So that would have given her maybe a postal service or something. So if somebody had scored 880 or 890, right, and scored 80 or 90 in the interview, you are out. So what I am trying to say is that highest written marks in top 5 or top 10 and lowest interview marks would result in the elimination. And there are instances people who got 80, 100 and 120 also. So it's not the fault of the personality, it is not understanding the demand of the examination. So some people assume that naturally I have a good personality, and many people, I am sorry to say this, from Karnataka, knowledge wise they are brilliant, but when it comes to articulation, right, when it comes to expressing what you know, so you need to really work hard, unless you have studied in a very good institution. Like in Bengaluru, there are English medium institutions from class 1 to graduation, like Sophia, Bishop Cotton, international schools. Anybody graduated from Christ in the Aradra? Anybody? No. Mount Carmel? How many of you from Bangalore? So very few. Okay. Which college? RNS. Bishop Cotton. Good. So the reason is that those institutions give you confidence, not because you know English, because they have so many opportunities in terms of giving you avenues, participate in extracurricular activities, right? So there are many extracurricular activities that allow you to participate, come out of the fear of stage, fear of speaking, fear of interacting with the people. So this also many people forget as part of the preparation. So you attend the class, you go to your room and you have selective 1 or 2 people with whom you regularly interact, and you have very less exposure in terms of going out and facing the world. So my suggestion is that, so 2 or 3 ways how you can overcome. So try to attend some kind of seminars or internships conducted by certain think tanks. Like for example, I don't know, IIMB might have a internship program, right? Certain think tanks, they will have certain programs, or NGOs, right? So that also can become your hobby, and always make friend with somebody who knows better than you, rather than making friend with some people. They make friend with maybe equally well read people or not so well, because they tend to dominate. They want to share, they want to come across as somebody who knows more things, right? So that is also wrong. You should always make friends with people who know more than you, who are more hardworking than you, and who have got more exposure in life, more experiences than you. So then they will keep opening your eyes to things that you haven't experienced, done in your life, right? So the more experiences, the more exposure you get, the more mature you will become to face UPSC interview. So there is a direct correlation, unfortunately. It is not the fault of individuals. So people who do not come with so good education, like government schools and colleges, if you see presently, they have the confidence, but because the interview is conducted mostly in English, even if it is in Kannada, so suddenly you lose that confidence when you go to Delhi. So that is because of lack of involvement, exposure. So that also you need to overcome. Add that to your preparation. The second way is that many people, everyone sitting here doesn't have, I should not generalize, maximum number of people sitting here do not have the hobby of writing at all, right? Writing, it can be diary writing, some people write personal experiences, but writing in general, writing about the things you experience, the news, current affairs, writing about things you read, right? Second, reading extra books, non-academic books, non-fiction books, or fiction books. How many of you have that hobby here? Good. So 5 people. So what books you read? English or Kannada? English. So which authors? No, which? Which foreign author? Sidney Sheldon or like Jeffrey Archer? Good. What about you? You read all? Very good. Good. Very good. ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿದ್ರಿ. Yes. What about you? Kannada novels. Good. Back. What do you read? Okay, good. Self-help books. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕ ಇರೋರು? English and novels. Okay. So other people, you need to develop this hobby seriously, right? So you might ask me a question, how is it related to UPSC preparation? As I said, the UPSC examination, to go slightly deeper, so you gain knowledge, okay, in the classroom. The nature of the questions, right? They try to test 3 kinds of qualities. One is creative thinking, right? Analytical thinking, and another one is critical thinking. So those who have ability of analytical thinking, creative thinking, and critical thinking, so you will be able to come across as more original, more individualistic, both in your essay or mains answers, or also in interview answers. So they don't expect cliched, the usual obvious answers from candidates. Of course, your answer needs to be relevant to the demand of the question, but the answer should be such that it should have a personal touch, in the sense that you should show that you have put efforts, you have understood the concept, right? You have internalized, and you are able to apply, present it creatively, and there is an element of critical thinking and also analytical thinking. What is the meaning of analytical thinking and critical thinking? Critical thinking is having your opinion, right? So criticism. So you have an issue, right? You know how to analyze, but you also have your original opinion on the issue. So you have taken a stance with respect to the issue. Analytical thinking is exploring every dimension of the issue, right? Like threadbare, for every part of the issue you are aware of. So it can be pros, consequences, right? The causes and the details, the background. So that kind of thinking in short and sweet, like 150 words or 250 words, if you are able to present in mains, and in 1200 words in the essay paper. So this ability will not come merely by reading the textbooks, right? Or merely listening to the class, because textbooks provide same content for all the million aspirants who are preparing for the examination. It's not giving you anything extra, right? Unless you have put your effort to refer any other extra reference book, which is very unlikely. Second, in the classroom scenario also, the classes which you note down, right? Everybody sitting in the class is noting down the same stuff. So you tend to produce the same copy of answer in different versions. So we don't see the extra effort, right? So if you have gone to the depth of it by reading non-fiction, or you can use fiction also. In essay you can use, in ethics answer you can use, right? So this hobby will provide you that kind of opportunity or capability. So that is very important, because in the interview I keep noticing that people with strong reading, strong writing habit are the ones who give more thoughtful original answers, right? So they don't repeat answer of another author, but that has stimulated their own thinking. As I said, creative thinking and critical thinking. So they have taken their own stance. Something, maybe it is a stance taken by majority of people, but they are putting it in more creative way, right? With more conviction. More conviction means, what is the meaning of conviction? More self-belief. Conviction is, there are two meanings to conviction. One, convicting somebody who has committed a crime. Conviction of a criminal. Conviction, having conviction, belief, strong belief in something. So your answer should have that conviction, right? So to achieve that conviction, you have to be part of this whole learning process, and as I said earlier, deeper understanding. So you attend the class, you read the textbook, then compulsorily you read extra resources related to the same topic. Thirdly, you solve the question papers. Without failure, you also write about it, right? So that is why we have integrated writing in every class, and we encourage people to write and come and show your answers. And that is why we have put a secure initiative. Every day from editorials we post you, we give you 7 to 8 questions. So pick up 1 or 2 questions, start answering from day 1. So never complain that I don't know how to write answers, I don't know how to write essay. People with self-belief will somehow learn their own ways. They start experimenting, right? So they don't wait for some teacher or guide to start the process, right? So if you are someone who is waiting for teacher to come and help you start with something, then you are unfit for the examination. Sorry to be very straightforward, but this is another lesson that I have learnt. Anybody who is waiting for someone, some teacher, to appear and then tell you about, they will come eventually. But on your own, you have started the process. There is a teacher for essay, there is a teacher for answer writing, they will do everything, right? But can you take an initiative, show the leadership skill and start doing it, implementing it? The sooner you do it, Again, it is born out of the curious mindset. So let me pick up an essay topic from this year's UPSC paper and just try it out. So you search the meaning of the word and watch 1 or 2 videos how to write, and read standard sources how to write an essay. When I say standard sources, I am not talking about institutions. So recently for a core batch, I took orientation. I told them how to write essay. You search how to write essay, Oxford University PDF. Search Google. So Oxford University would have given some guidelines for their students, how to write an essay, right? And I opened a PDF and I told them, see, they have written like 2 paragraphs just to tell you how to write introduction. What should be there in an introduction, right? It's a 1 minute exercise, and you read the document for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You get a rough idea, and you read about the topic, and then you just start something, right? So it is those candidates who start something, without waiting for someone. So they show faster progress. They are ahead of the competition, because the rest of the competition is waiting for the moment. And that mindset is also dangerous, because you are not prepared for the uncertainty, right? So when you are having this mindset, like something needs to be prepared, someone needs to come and tell me. So there is an element of certainty, like you are expecting certain things from someone, but let us say that nobody will come and actually teach you. What will you do? Will you wait endlessly? You won't, right? In life also we should not do that, here also, right? I am not saying they won't come, they will come, but can you start? That prepares your mind for the uncertainty. And uncertainty, that is what U stands for, people say in UPSC, right? So uncertainty is nothing but that lack of preparedness. You are not sufficiently prepared for the examination. You haven't sufficiently understood the demand and prepared for. That is why you label it as uncertainty. So if the prelims question paper is tough, people say it's so uncertain. No, I didn't expect this question to appear. This topic comes out of nowhere, out of blue. People say that because you were not sufficiently prepared. So if you if you are curious and if you are really industrious, the meaning of industrious is that hardworking. Suddenly English words are coming in my mind. So the word industrious is you won't get tired, of doing something. In that process, right, you will prepare for any eventuality, any kind of uncertainty. So the moment you are prepared for uncertainty, right, you are the winner here, right? Because the moment some people see unexpected questions, they have lost the examination, right? I have heard stories, right? It starts with losing sleep. It starts with losing sleep few days before or 1 day before the exam, and they see the question paper, they get nervous. The moment you were nervous looking at the question paper, it is gone, right? You are already off, defeated, right? So the confidence I talked about, right? You should walk so confidently into the examination because you really worked hard. Look at the question paper and be curious about the question paper. You should be curious. Let me see what is the question that has come. Right? You don't know answer, you think. Try to be creative. Try to extract answer. Right? Analyze. Go through all the things that you learned, rather than getting nervous about it. So these are the qualities that will actually make you winner in any kind of situation. So seriously work on these qualities. Right? If you haven't noted down anything, because there is nothing to note down in the class, you can again watch this video, right, when you feel like you have missed out something, right? Because I believe this is the wisdom I can share, right? So there is a clear cut way to get 900 plus. Eventually all our teachers in each and every subject, they will talk about it. How to score highest marks in environment section, in Indian polity, in prelims, how to answer 12 or 14 question in out of out. So Manjunath sir will definitely teach about it, right? Economy, like everything will be taught, but don't see that itself as the examination. So don't narrow down your, personality in the sense that through that narrow focus. Okay, any doubts? So with respect to optional and all, our faculties will guide. So I'll just tell you that sociology, political science, anthropology, Kannada literature, then geography and public administration currently ruling, currently most popular, and people who have done graduation or post graduation in agriculture, psychology, right, or botany or zoology, you can definitely go with them, provided you are confident that you don't have to put extra effort right now, that BSc plus MSc has already prepared you for the subject, then go with those subjects, right? If BSc MSc was only to get a degree, you didn't actually put efforts, to understand the subject, and you still feel scared about some parts of it, don't go with that. So my personal suggestion, don't go with the professional courses unless you really performed well, during graduation. Like law. So law optional, what is there in syllabus, what you studied in the college or university, right, was similar and you really had understood, excelled well, then go with the law. Similarly, medical science. The simple logic is that there is no point in giving more time for optional in the present scheme of the examination, right? So let us say that you spend 6 hours every day on mathematics optional for 2 years, and then you give mains. So the advantage is maybe like 10 or 20 marks maximum. So somebody takes Kannada literature, puts 2 hours every day, 6 months, 7 months they complete the optional, and they will also end up getting more or less similar marks or 10 or 20 less marks. But for Kannada optional student, I am just giving an example here, right? Or sociology or political science student, they have got more time to invest in learning how to write essay, how to write GS answers better, or even how to prepare for interview also, right? So you see the cost benefit, right? So that is why my personal suggestion, don't go with medical science, mathematics or any engineering subjects. Some people say that I was good in Olympiad, mathematics in 12th, I really did well, out of out. So no, don't go with it. So personally, top 3, the ones I mentioned, you can go with them. And agriculture, if you had really done well in BSc and MSc, go with agriculture. Professional courses, what I am saying, that those are done post graduation, they are doing well in all the professional courses, right? So mere BSc or or what, bachelor degree, BE, so haven't prepared you for the demand of this optional. It is postgraduate, they say honors level, but it is actually of postgraduate level. So there will be separate sessions on how to write answers, right, how to write essay. So our faculties will deal with all of them, and our institution, the doors are always open. So any doubt, any issue, you can always come here, talk to mentors and teachers. They are all humble, down to earth, right? So wish you all the best. Do well, and remember the words. I hope you remember. Then pidkandidira? Do you remember? ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಬೇರೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ರ? You wanted to listen something else? Any doubts? ಏನು ಮೇಡಮ್, ಯಾವ ಊರು? ಬಾಗಲಕೋಟೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಸಿಂಧನೂರು, ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ. ಯಾರು ದಾವಣಗೆರೆ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲಿ? ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ, ಹಾವೇರಿ, ಗುಡ್. ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ, ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗ, Bidar, Raichur, Belgaum, Hasan. Huh? ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ? ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರೋ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೈಸೂರು, ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ? ಬಿಜಾಪುರ, ಧಾರವಾಡ, ಓಕೆ. ಕೂರ್ಗ್, ಮಂಗಳೂರು. ಅವರು IAS ಅಂದರೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕಮಗಳೂರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಂಗಳೂರು, ಕೂರ್ಗು IAS ಅಂದರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ದುಡ್ಡು. ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್. ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರ? ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ವಿನಯ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತಂದು? ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್? ಯಾರೋ ಬೈದಂಗೆ ಜೋರ ಬೈಯಪ್ಪ. ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ವಿಶ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾನು ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಬೇರೆ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾರು ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ 1000 people have started. So eventually after 1 year there are 700. After 2 years there are like 300, right? After 3 years, after 4 years, you see 50-60 candidates stuck here, right? And those faces become more familiar, right? Those faces become more familiar. They are not giving up. They may be pursuing with a work or full time, but they keep coming, they keep writing, they keep giving mocks, they keep attending classes or getting mentorship. So what I've seen is that it is the most familiar faces who will eventually crack this examination. To put it very briefly, it is the most familiar faces. Familiar ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ನಿಮಗಲ್ಲ, right? So with your mentors, faculties, right? ಯಾಕಂದರೆ they are so persistent. Some people even after 4, 5, 6 attempt, with persistence, they have cracked this examination. But after 1 or 2 attempt, look for a job. 1 or 2 years, give everything you have, right? The maximum potential, effort that you can put. So put. But after that, either go for higher education or for a job and then continue UPSC preparation. So my personal suggestion, beyond 2 years, don't continue as an unemployed citizen for this exam preparation, right? So that is not a good thing to do. Whatever job, so it may be 30,000 or 25,000, even 20,000. So find a job and continue. Or if you maybe you can parallelly prepare for MBA, you can get into IIM or Symbiosis or IS. There are good MBA colleges. Or if you are interested in some other, like there is a Tata Institute of Social Science, and there are courses from National Law School, right, in Nagarbavi. So that is also fine. Any reputed institution, you try to get into. Even IITs are nowadays providing masters in some humanity subjects, right? So 2 years while preparing for UPSC, keep an eye on such kind of courses offered by the topmost institutions in India, right? It's okay, you don't have to give like too much extra effort for them. Most of the UPSC content will itself prepare for you, and just check out any question papers if they are subject specific, discipline specific, and try to prepare for them. So this will, as I said, the very first thing, so when you want to go beyond IAS, when you don't crack IAS, achieve bigger thing than IAS, then you have to be prepared. You have to be, your personality should be developed in that sense. Mere reading, mere gaining knowledge of UPSC won't help. So it can be a job or it can be higher education from reputed institutions will eventually open up more opportunities, right? So this is the last word of advice I wanted to give. So wish you all the best and take care of yourself. Come what may in Bangalore, whatever happens. So don't give up. While not giving up, always be wise, right? So wish you all the best. Thank you.